So Fortnite Reload has been out for a couple of days, and I am absolutely in love with this game. This is something that I believe the community has needed for a really long time, and I'm so happy that we have this in Fortnite. It's something that can exist alongside Battle Royale. Now, I put out a poll today asking you guys how you felt about it. Some of you were really positive, some people were kind of negative, and then there were some people that were in between in terms of how they felt about this new mode. Regardless, I think I'm getting an understanding of how the community overall feels about Fortnite Reload. However, what I'm starting to realize is that, one, I don't think people understand what this mode was supposed to be, and two, I don't think a lot of people see the potential at what this could become. And because of that, I have a few ideas on how Epic Games can make Fortnite Reload better. But before we get into any of that, I want to give my general thoughts on how I feel about the game as it is right now. What people need to understand is that this was not supposed to be OG Fortnite exactly. This is a love letter to OG, but it incorporates so many elements from multiple Fortnite seasons, and that's what I think makes this mode stand out to me so much. In a way, I almost wish this mode had been called Fortnite Fusion, because what it does is it fuses the concepts of multiple seasons together in one complete package. I like how the map is a mix of old Chapter 1 POIs with some new POIs that feel like they could have existed on a Chapter 1 map. This is something that I've been wanting Fortnite to experiment and play with for a long time. Give us new POIs, but in the old Chapter 1 playstyle. I also like how the weapons are not just exclusively OG. And that's what people have to understand, is that this is not designed to take the place of OG Fortnite, but it's a placeholder until we can get our next OG season. If you want a mode that has traditional weapons as well as old POIs that you can go to while getting something a little new, this is really what Fortnite Reloaded is supposed to be. Playing this mode is designed to be an in-between for normal current BR and OG Fortnite. One thing I will say after playing Reload and experimenting with the old weapons is that I can feel a drastic difference between how these weapons work and how the weapons of Chapter 5 work. This is the most glaring thing to me. All these weapons, regardless of which one you're using, feel really good. These feel like weapons that belong in Fortnite because this is Fortnite's baseline. This is where Fortnite originated from. But Chapter 5's loot pool, I can feel the difference even more so now. That doesn't mean that all the Chapter 5 weapons are bad, and that doesn't mean that I can't tolerate them, but I think moving into Chapter 6, we need to go back to weapons that are primarily hit scan. The genius of Reload, I think, is that Fortnite can now cut loose. They can experiment with loot pools and play styles more so than they can in normal BR. Now, the big question in everyone's mind is, how long is this game mode going to stay? There's been no official word if Epic Games is going to replace this mode with something else, or if they're going to keep this as a new permanent mode. I know it's not being marketed as an LTM, but that doesn't mean that they can't take it away. Now, if this game mode is going to stay, I have a few suggestions on things Epic Games can do to make it more interesting for everyone. That way, we ensure the longevity of this mode and keep player interest. And what I mentioned earlier about players not necessarily seeing the full potential of this game mode, this is where we can experiment with those ideas. First off, we need more playlists for this mode. Right now, it's just squads, but I think we also need duos and trios. One of the big criticisms I saw from you guys in my comment section is that a lot of you don't play squads or that you hate squads, and I think a lot of that comes down to is not having a solid squad of people to play with. Not everyone is fortunate like me and has a bunch of different people that they can play with all the time, just mixing and matching different personalities to create different squads. Now, I will say I do have a solution to that. If you are looking for new people to play with, make sure to join my Discord. The link will be in the pinned comment down below on this video. And while you're down there, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because I know you're enjoying this video if you've made it this far into it. I know for the launch of this, Epic Games is worried about splitting the player base too much, so they're just testing it out with squads right now. However, I think if this mode does well, and from the player count, it looks like it's doing tremendously well, I think that they probably will add duos and trios later on. If they can only add one of those modes, I would say add duos and then have squads, make those the two main playlists. I think that would incentivize a lot more people to try out this mode if they only had one more person that they needed to load into a round with, rather than trying to find 3 people or just playing with a squad of complete strangers. Next, I want them to continue to play with the loot pool and to mix it up. We've been saying for years that Fortnite has an insane library of weapons that they can tap into at any time, not to mention all the weapons from Save the World that have never been ported over. Just when you look at the history of weapons that have existed in BR, there are a lot of amazing options that exist for us to use. I think if they continue this and make it a permanent mode, we could have different seasons where we have different loot pool styles and different play styles based on different interpretations or different versions of Fortnite. But we're going to talk about that a little bit more later. There's something more important I want to talk about right now, which is Siphon. Listen, Epic, this mode, as amazing as it is incredibly sweaty. It's designed to be that way. I don't know how players didn't realize that this was going to be sweaty. This is a smaller island, 40 players. The action is more fast-paced. You have endless revives up until the timer never runs out. Like, this is going to be a mode where people are constantly coming back trying to fight you over and over and over again. But because of the nature of this mode, and because it's so competitive, and because third parties are going to be so active in a game mode like this, I believe that Siphon needs to be a core mechanic in this gameplay. The players are just too aggressive, and there's just too many fights for me not to get health and mats on kill. I need that, especially if I can get a quick lucky shot on somebody right after I've just been revived for the 5th time in a match. On type of Siphon, we need trap slots back. I don't know why we don't have spike traps, launch pads, metal walls, all that stuff available in this playlist. These are core features of the original Fortnite playstyle, which should be incorporated into this mode. Also, Epic, I hope you use this mode as a playground to test new ideas in. If there's a new weapon or new item type that you don't want to put maybe in main BR, but you still want to experiment with it, please put it in this mode, and even do something like Helldivers does, where you don't tell us that a new weapon is coming out. Just put it in the game. The first time anybody interacts with these weapons, it should be in this mode without any context whatsoever. Now, I know that the community is full of leakers, and someone will probably leak it out at some point. However, I think it would just be really cool if you didn't tell us anything. You just put some stuff in as a little Easter egg and just send us on our way. Another thing I think will help the longevity of this game mode is if you have multiple seasons. Just like you have multiple seasons for all the other Find It in Fortnite game modes, we should have multiple seasons for Reboot as well. That means you can switch up the loot pools and even the map depending upon what season theme you're going for. For example, let's say you had Chapter 2 Season 7 as a theme, and you put in a few of the old POIs and made a couple of new ones as well. You give us that alien loot pool that everybody loves so much while throwing in a bunch of other weapons from various seasons, and you make an entire theme around it. Maybe even have some spaceships up in the sky. Whatever you want to do to kind of give us that feeling of playing at that time, but with a twist. And that's where you start either adding new items in or mixing up the loot pools and adding other items that you feel would fit really good. For example, maybe you add some of the Oathbound weapons in there as well. Give me a kinetic hammer or katanas, whatever you want to throw in to kind of mix things up. Just make the season as fun as possible. You've got the resources to do it. The sky's the limit. No one's really expecting too much from a game mode like this. One of the things that makes this so exciting to me is that you were paying respect to old Fortnite seasons, but something I think you could really do that'd be unique with this is fusing different seasons together. So for example, what if you fused Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 7 with Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 1, and you made that one big cohesive map? Half the POIs are from Chapter 4, half the POIs are from Chapter 2. You have a loot pool that's mixed between the two of them. People can go absolutely nuts over which one they love more or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just this idea of fusing different ideas and concepts together. And the cool thing about this is not designed to be a complete OG experience. This is not designed to take the place of OG Fortnite when that comes around once a year. But it is a way for us to interact and experience some of those old feelings and some of the nostalgia of that by being able to play on some of these maps and POIs all over again in an official Fortnite playlist. And Epic, listen, this is something I really need you to understand. This is what people have been really wanting for a long time. Creative is great. Find It in Fortnite is great, but to have another, not necessarily competitive playlist, but just another battle-centric Fortnite BR type mode with new rules and a new way to play the game that we love, but while paying respect to some of the traditional elements of Fortnite, this is what people come to you for. This is what the community has been dying for so long, which is why we wanted LTMs back. And listen, I'm not saying that this should take the place of LTMs, but what I am saying is that this can really be a mode where you can thrive and experiment and do a lot of really cool things that the community has either forgotten about or has never experienced. There are so many new Fortnite players that have never experienced some of those older chapters or older seasons. You can introduce people to a lot of those old elements. And that's another cool thing about this mode, is that I think it can bridge the gap between older and newer players. There's a disconnect between what the older fans of Fortnite used to like and what the newer Fortnite fans are experiencing. These are just a few of the ideas that I had to spice up Fortnite Reload, but I really want to know how a lot of you guys are feeling. So what I want you to do is leave a comment down below and give me some ideas that you think Fortnite should incorporate to make this mode even more special. Guys, I am so excited for the future of Fortnite and the direction that this game is going right now. This was a huge W for us, and even if you're not a big fan of the mode, I think we can all agree that Fortnite is trying. They are experimenting, they're listening. They are paying attention to the pains of the community, and I'm really excited as to what they're going to do for us later on this year. But listen, now's the time to make your voice heard, so let Epic Games know down below what you think should be incorporated into Fortnite Reload to make it better. I love y'all. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.